And the winning ways of Elena Rybakina in 2026 continue. Stamp it. Win number 29 on the year.
6-4, 6-3, 6-4, 6-3.
A straight sets victory in her first ever encounter.
The dust has finally settled inside the BNP Paribas Arena in Rome. The roaring Italian crowds have filed, music, out into the evening air, and the harsh, undeniable reality of the scoreboard is staring back at us. 64-63 game set and match to the world number 3 Elena Rybakina. For Alexandra Eala and the millions of passionate Filipinos watching across the globe, the incredible fairy tale run music at the 2026 Italian Open has officially come to an end. The dream of advancing deep into the second week has been halted by a 6-foot-tall Grand Slam winning wall of pure, unadulterated power. It is entirely natural to feel the sting of this defeat. It is natural to feel a sense of heartbreak after building so much momentum and daring to believe in the ultimate clay court upset. But I need you to listen to me very carefully, right music, now. Wipe away the tears. Hold your head incredibly high. Do not look at this match as a failure. Look at it as an absolute revelation. Look at it as the exact moment Alexandra Eala, music, proved without a single shadow of a doubt that she does not just belong on the same court as the music absolute highest tier of the tennis elite. She can look them dead in the eye and make them bleed for every single point. Today, Alexandra Eala did not get blown off the court. She engaged in a brutal, heavy tactical war with one of the most terrifying forces in women's music, tennis. And she pushed the Kazakhstani superstar to her absolute limits. To truly understand what happened out there on the red clay of Rome today, we have to look past the final score, music, line. We have to dive deep into the statistical anatomy of this clash because the numbers from this exact match tell a story of microscopic margins. They tell a story of a 20-year-old Filipina who fought like an absolute lioness against a player operating at the absolute peak of her powers. Let us pull back the curtain and analyze exactly how Elena Rybakina survived the Alex Eala test and why the entire WTA tour should be looking at these statistics with a profound sense of unease. Let us start with the most obvious weapon on the court, the Rybakina serve. Music, we knew coming into this match that the Kazakhstani serve was going to be the ultimate decider, and the statistics confirm it. Rybakina fired down 6 aces compared to Eala's 1. But it is not just the aces. It is the sheer suffocating pressure of her first delivery. Music, Rybakina landed 62% of her first serves. And when that first serve went in, she won a staggering 73% of those points. That is the hallmark of a top 3 player in the world. When Rybakina was pushed into music, a corner, when Eala started building momentum in a grueling rally, the world number 3 could simply reach up, unleash a 120 miles per hour missile, music, and buy herself a free point. You cannot teach that kind of overwhelming power. You can only try to survive it. But here is where the statistics get incredibly fascinating and where the absolute genius of Alex Eala's clay court game truly shines through. Look at the second serve win percentage. This is the statistic that separates the contenders from the true champions on the red clay. When Elena Rybakina missed her massive first serve, music, she was immediately critically vulnerable. The world number 3 only managed to win 45% of her second serve points. Let that sink in. Less than half the time Rybakina was forced to hit a second serve, she lost the point.
Why?
Because Alex was pouncing on it like a predator. Eala was stepping inside the baseline, taking the ball early and ripping heavy, punishing top spin returns, music, deep into Rybakina's feet. Now, flip the script. Look at Aya's second serve performance. Despite facing one of the most aggressive, flat-hitting returners on the entire planet, Alex Eala won 55% of her second serve points. The 20-year-old Filipina actually outperformed the world number 3 in the most critical pressure-filled statistic in clay court tennis. This means that when the points were neutralized, when the raw power of the first serve was removed from the equation and the match devolved into pure tactical baseline construction, music, was the superior player. She was using her Nadal-style left-handed forehand to push Rybakina into awkward defensive positions. She was winning the chess match. But if I was winning the baseline exchanges, where did the match slip away? The answer lies in the harsh, unforgiving reality of breakpoint opportunities and the heavy burden of unforced errors. The statistics show a painful discrepancy in double faults. Eala committed 5 double faults while Rybakina committed 0. Those 5 double faults are not a sign of technical weakness. They are a sign of immense suffocating psychological pressure. Eala knew that if she hit a safe, weak second serve, Rybakina would step in and crush it for a clean winner. Eala felt the absolute necessity to paint the lines to hit her spots with millimeter precision on every single delivery. When you are forced to walk that incredibly thin, tightrope against a Grand Slam champion, the margin for error evaporates, and those double faults are the tragic byproduct of trying to play perfectly. Then we look at the breakpoint conversion. This is where the sheer relentless aggression of Rybakina's return game finally broke the dam. The world number 3 generated 7 breakpoint opportunities throughout the 2 sets, and she converted 4 of them. Rybakina's ability to flatten out her ground strokes and suddenly inject devastating pace into a neutral rally allowed her to snatch the breaks of serve when she needed them most. But look at breakpoint statistic. It is arguably the most telling number on the entire sheet. Break points. 1 out of 1. A 100% conversion rate. When Alex Eala finally cracked the Rybakina code and earned a break point, she did not flinch. She did not let the magnitude of the moment overwhelm her. She stepped up, executed her game plan perfectly, and took the game. The tragedy is simply that Rybakina's massive first serve prevented Eala from generating more than that single opportunity. Rybakina won 33 service points to Eala's 40. The Kazakh was protecting her service games with absolute clinical ferocity. When you look at the total points won, the reality of how close this match truly was becomes startlingly clear. In a straight sets victory for the world number 3, you would generally expect a massive blowout. You would expect a glaring points differential, but the final tally shows Elena Rybakina winning 69 total points and Alexandra Eala winning 60 total points. 9 points across 2 grueling sets of world-class professional tennis. The entire difference between the reigning Australian Open champion and the 20-year-old challenger from the Philippines was exactly 9 swings of the racket, 9 moments of hesitation, 9 inches of court space. That is not a demolition. That is a razor-thin margin. In fact, Eala actually holds the statistic for the longest consecutive streak of points won in the entire match. Eala won 6 consecutive points at her absolute peak today. While Rybakina's highest streak was only 5, Ai proved that when she catches fire, when her heavy topspin forehand locks into the zone, she can string together moments of absolute unstoppable brilliance that even the world number 3, cannot derail. Eala won 36 receiving points to Rybakina's 20, fighting tooth and nail for every single inch of ground on the return. Let us break down the narrative flow of those 2 sets, because the scoreline of 64-63 hides the brutal, physical trench warfare that took place in that arena. In the first set, Eala came out with absolute fire. She was not intimidated by the occasion or the towering opponent across the net. She engaged Rybakina in long lung-burning rallies, trying to drag the taller player side to side and expose her lateral movement on the dirt. Eala's first serve percentage was rock solid at 67%, constantly forcing Rybakina to play off her back foot. But at 4-5, the immense pressure of serving to stay in the set mounted. Rybakina sensed the opportunity, stepped inside the baseline, and unleashed a barrage of flat, penetrating ground strokes that Eala simply could not scrape back. 1 single break of serve. That was the entire difference in the opening set. As they moved into the second set, you could see the physical toll the heavy clay was taking. Rybakina, highly experienced and incredibly fit, began to aggressively shorten the points. She realized that engaging in 20-shot rallies with the Filipina was a losing strategy in the long run. Rybakina started pulling the trigger much earlier, taking massive risks down the line to avoid Eala's heavy cross-court topspin. The tactic worked. Rybakina secured an early break, relying heavily on her 6 aces to bail her out whenever Ai threatened to mount a comeback. Eala fought desperately, retrieving impossible balls, sliding across the red dirt with the grace of a seasoned veteran, but the Kazakhstani star simply refused to yield her hard-earned advantage. The final game was a microcosm of the entire match. Massive serving from Rybakina, relentless retrieving from Aya, culminating in one final unreturnable strike from the world number 3. When the players finally met at the net for the handshake, there was a deep, undeniable mutual respect. Elena Rybakina knew exactly what she had just survived. She knew that she had been dragged into deep, dangerous waters by an unseeded 20-year-old. She did not just coast to victory today. She had to earn every single game with the absolute best tennis in her arsenal. For the Ayala army, for every single Filipino who cleared their schedule, held their breath, and watched this match with their heart in their throat, I want you to take a massive step back and look at the broader picture. Look at what Alexandra Ayala has accomplished over the past 2 weeks. She has firmly, unequivocally established herself as a terrifying threat on red clay. She completely dismantled Magdalena Freck. She avenged her Auckland heartbreak by absolutely destroying the 31st seed, Wang Xinyu. She became the very first Filipino player in the Open era to reach the round of 32 at the Italian Open, and she just stood toe-to-toe with the world number 3 and pushed her to the absolute limit. There is zero shame in losing to Elena Rybakina when she is serving at a 73% win rate. That is championship-level tennis from the Kazakh. But what I proved today is that her own ceiling is infinitely higher than anyone previously realized. She proved that her 4 career top 10 wins were not flukes. She proved that the 8 years of grueling, agonizing training at the Rafinadal Academy in Mallorca have forged her into a tactical genius on the dirt. She showed the world that she has the footwork, the heavy spin, the defensive capabilities, and the unbreakable fighting spirit to challenge for the biggest titles in this sport. This is not the end of the story. This is simply the closing of one chapter and the thrilling beginning of the next. The European clay swing is far from over. Eala leaves Rome with a career-best WTA 1000 clay court performance under her belt. She leaves with a massive injection of ranking points that will push her closer to her career high. She leaves with invaluable data on how to handle the sheer pace of the absolute best players in the world. But most importantly, she leaves Rome with the absolute unshakable belief that she belongs at this elite table. Next up is the WTA 500 in Strasbourg, and then the ultimate proving ground, the grandest stage on red dirt, Roland Garros, the French Open in Paris. The entire WTA locker room was watching this match today. They saw the world number 3 struggle to put away the 20-year-old Filipina. They saw Ella's superior second serve win percentage. They saw her flawless breakpoint conversion. They saw the heavy kicking topspin that severely disrupted Rybakina's rhythm. The word is officially out. Alex Eala is no longer a dark horse. She is a massive looming threat in the Roland Garros draw. So to the Ayala army, do not lower your flags today. Raise them higher than you ever have before. Flood the comment sections with absolute pride. Celebrate the incredible fight, the unwavering resilience, and the undeniable brilliance of your champion. Today, the world number 3 may have won the match, but Alexandra Ayala won the profound respect of the entire tennis world. The Italian Open dream may have ended, but the real journey has only just begun. The pearl of Philippine tennis is shining brighter than ever, and she is marching toward Paris with absolute fire in her eyes. The WTA Tour is officially on notice. We will see you at Roland Garros.